All right. So I just want to start by confirming that you consented for me to record this interview with you.
Yes, I consent.
Awesome. And then who are you? Where do you work? And how long have you been in that management role?
First of all, I'm your dad.
Yep.
My name is Mike Moynagh. I am a senior managing director for Newmark Valuation and Advisory. Uh, and I started in this role like 6 months ago. And prior to that, I was at CBRE in the same role for like 24 years.
Awesome. And then would you rather reflect on your current job or your previous job at CBRE?
I think they're both very similar with some differences. So I feel like I can, by reflecting on both of them, I mean, there's a few, I'm sure, I think reflecting on both of them, there's parallels. So, but
Okay.
it'll probably be based on my CBRE experience, I guess,
Awesome.
mostly. Yeah.
All right. All right. So, which industry represents your organization? So, like real estate,
Yeah,
in
we're a Newmark and CBRE are both public real estate companies, full service companies. So, um, property management, brokerage, debt and equity, valuation, and there's other smaller groups, but they're both full service real estate companies.
okay. And then I think you already touched on this, but if you want to remind us, what is your role again?
Yep, I am a senior managing director.
Okay.
Um, I was at CBRE, and that's what I am at Newmark.
Okay. And you already said this before. How long have you been in that current position?
Yeah, at Newmark, it's been since middle of April, so it's been a little over 6 months. And prior to that, I was at CB for 24 years. And before that, I was at a smaller local real estate company in Minneapolis for like 10 years.
So, like 35 years around.
Right, correct.
Awesome. And then in that time, what has been your greatest career achievement?
I would say that starting at CBRE and now at Newmark, I was hired as kind of the first person at CBRE in my region. So my region or my territory that I was hired at CB for, as well as Newmark, is Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Um, so at CB, I was the first person hired out of Minneapolis, and at the time they had people coming from Chicago to do appraisal work in my these 5 states. So my job was to, in the beginning, do appraisal work, but then try to hire people and grow it. So I would say probably my greatest achievement that I can think of is growing um, that CBRE team from just myself up to 25 people and then like up to like $12 million annually in revenues.
And do you know
So it
what the annual revenue started at?
zero.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
brought all of that in then.
Well, yeah. I mean, the company brings in work, and then I brought in work. But the big part that I'm um, achievement, I think, is finding people, training people, and keeping those people, and then growing that from 0 to 12 million. And sort of related to that, Nolan, is now that I'm at Newmark, I've been there 6 months, and my job was to do the same thing, is to grow it. And when I started, there were 2 people 6 months ago, and now we're up to 12 people. So, like 8 of the people have followed me from CBRE. So that, I mean, that's sort of similar to what I did at CB, but this at Newmark, it's just been really fast because I have close relationships with all those people that came over.
Mhm. Awesome. And then from your greatest achievement, what is the time period that you're looking at? So like from starting at yourself at CBRE till you grew it to 25 people, how long did that take you?
Um, it was probably like 10 years or something like that, 10 to
Mhm.
12 years. And then from that point on, it was just maintaining that level. I mean, for the areas that I was in charge of, most of them, other than Minneapolis, these other states have are small markets without a lot of people. So you can only get so many people to do so much work, and at some point you kind of hit a wall that
Mhm.
it's hard to keep growing. So once I got it up to about 12 million ish, then it was more maintaining that.
Mhm.
So, and then similar to that at Newmark, I mean, I've been there 6 months. When I started, they their annual revenues were like $800,000. And now with the 12 people, we're on pace for like $4.5 million by next year. So yeah, so that's a lot quicker than I grew at CBRE.
Awesome. And then can you just dive into like the people, the products and the services that are involved in that?
In my appraisal business.
Yeah,
Um,
like a
yeah,
day to day.
sure. You mean what they do day to day, or just
Well, more so yourself, like do you have people helping you? And then like what's your day to day look like while
okay?
managing these people?
Sure. Yeah. So I kind of look at it as more of a teammate than, or more of a coach than like telling people what to do, because my job in growing was to hire people, the experienced people that came over, they knew what they're doing. And for those people, my job is to bring in appraisal assignments from lenders primarily in my area and around the country, and bring in that work and give it to those experienced people that I've hired. But also, in addition to that, I've hired young people that I had to train and teach how to do appraisals. So the experienced people I would just give work to, they would generally do it and I would review it. The inexperienced people, I'd bring in the work, I'd give it to them, and then I'd work with them. Like I'd go on inspections of the properties, and I'd kind of work with them throughout the process of how to do an appraisal. So each person was different, kind of in how I manage them. But what's interesting is they're all almost all like independent contractors, in that they're all almost like little independent businesses, in that they don't all work together. They each individually do an appraisal assignment, and they get paid a percentage of that. Um, and then they get another one, and they keep doing that, and it stacks up. They don't generally work with other people to get stuff done. It occasionally happens, but it's basically managing all those people and kind of make sure they're getting their work done on time. They're communicating to their clients. They're review, they're when the client responds with questions and concerns, they handle that. Um, and so it's kind of managing everything from daily bidding on appraisal assignments with clients, to reviewing the reports that my people complete, to helping them learn how to do an appraisal. And so it's really everything, I guess what they say, from soup to nuts. So like from beginning to end.
Okay. Perfect. And then to go along with that, what management principles, strategies, or processes did you employ that you believe led to this effective organizational outcome?
Uh, I I'd like to say there was some formal plan or textbook that I followed,
Yeah.
uh, but it really was, I think, winging it, professionally winging it, and that, to me it comes down to everything comes down to like treating people the way you want to be treated, being fair to them, being honest, providing them opportunities, and giving them room to grow on their own without telling them what to do. So I always say, like, bosses, there's a difference between a boss and a leader. A boss is somebody who says I all the time and takes credit for everything when it's not about them, it's the team, it's everybody. So a leader is somebody who is more treats people like like all of us in this together.
Mhm.
Even though they're all independent, I just think by treating everyone fairly and giving everyone opportunities to grow and bill as much as they could and make as much money as they want, um, that giving them kind of the freedom within certain guidelines to do that's what has a lot. I mean, that's sort of the guidelines of what's grown us from, that's basically what's made it work, I think.
Yeah, make it
I
effective.
mean, yeah, there's probably definitions and textbooks
Yeah.
like yours in your class that talk about it, and I don't honestly, it's just like a day-to-day kind of a common sense, treat people right and be fair to them and be kind and professional, and if you hire good people, then good things will come from that. I mean, then they'll if you give them good people opportunities, they'll take it and run with it and make you successful and themselves successful.
Okay. So bringing the family environment and hiring quality people, would you say those are like your two main processes or strategies that you use
Yeah,
in effectiveness?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I work hard and I do it because I like it. I'm not doing it because I mean, it works, but getting to know people's families as they stay with you over the years and they go from being a young professional out of college to being, dating to getting married to having kids. Um, that social aspect of have the people I work with, I've always enjoyed. So um, I've always spent a lot of time on that. And then, going to lunch with my people and having and their families for Christmas holidays and tailgates and inviting their families. And yeah, that's the way you described it was, I think,
Yeah, that's
well
perfect.
put. Yep.
Okay, so why do you consider this achievement of growing CBRE from yourself to 25 people and raising the revenue from 0 to 12 million? Why do you consider this achievement to have been so impactful?
Um, I mean, I just think it's hard to keep in my profession. I have competitors that are constantly trying to hire my people. Um, and so it's not, and their other companies are offering my people both at CB, um, they're offering them a lot of money to go to their companies, and I've been able to keep them, I think, because I've worked at good companies and I've treated them right. So, um, what was your question again? Kind of
Uh,
rambling.
why do you consider this achievement to be so impactful?
Oh, yeah. I
I
mean,
guess
I
you
just
kind of
think
answered.
yeah, it's not easy to keep people in my profession at, I mean, they're in high demand, the experienced appraisers, and so it's hard to keep them. So that's what I think's been most impactful.
Okay.
And honestly, to get, um, like seven of those 25 people in 6 months that work for me at CB to follow me when I haven't been able to solicit them or recruit them because of my CB contract, that they still came over without me soliciting them. That's I felt like a good achievement.
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna start rating. You're gonna start rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 on some different characteristics of a person in a management role.
Okay.
And I'll give you the definition for each of the characteristics so you know what you're grading yourself on.
Okay.
But 1 is never used, 2 is rarely used, 3 is used occasionally or sometimes, 4 is often used, and then 5 is used always. So the
Okay.
first characteristic is listening. So that means focus on listening to identify and clarify the needs and desires of the group.
Uh, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to rate yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
give me all
especially since you
fives.
said that
No.
you all yeah. Especially since you said like your guys they all work for themselves. They're all in their own companies in a way. But do you guys ever do group work or come together for meetings or stuff
Yeah,
like
and your question about listening, I mean, um, I'm probably a little less patient now later in my career than I was earlier in my career. So I would say early in my career, I probably was more of a four, 4.5 or something, and I'm probably now a 3.5 or something like that. If I had to
Mhm.
rate my listening skills,
Um,
I get a little less patient with if I'm not, super stoked about how someone's doing something or what their effort is. So
yeah.
then I listen less.
We'll take the median of that and give you a 4.
Okay. Oh, we
So four
can't
and a half
use
to 3.5,
halves.
right?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is empathy. So try to emphasize with others' feelings and emotions.
Yes. I would say I'm a four.
A 4.
I and I qualify that by saying with people that are, that have real sincere issues, I'm probably a five. But then there's always over the time there's always a few people that have a ton of excuses and you sometimes question them and then I'm to those people I'm maybe a three, but
Yeah.
overall I'd say I'm a four.
Okay. The next one is healing. So striving to make themselves and others whole in the face of failure or suffering.
Uh, that's a hard. I'll say four.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of look at that as if I listened correctly, I took that as I'm trying to, you know, teach them and have them improve
Mm-hmm.
throughout. So I think that I've done that
Yeah,
relatively well. So
good. So the next one is awareness, which is very self-aware of their strengths and limitations.
am I self-aware of my strengths and limitations
Yeah,
or
so
others?
self-awareness.
Oh, self-awareness.
Mhm.
Uh, I think I'm a five. I think I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at, and I have people help me with stuff I'm not good at.
Nice. Yeah, that's perfect definition. Persuasion. So relying on persuasion when making decisions and trying to influence others.
Um, well, I don't feel like you need to do that. So to me, persuading somebody to me, the definition of persuasion is having convincing someone to do something they wouldn't otherwise do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that that's my job. Um, I mean, I want to encourage them to be the best they can be, but I don't think I ever need to really persuade them.
Okay.
So, yeah. Did I give that a
So
number then? Probably a
we could say a
three.
1. There's no
Yeah.
like good score, bad
Yeah.
score. It's just totally
Yeah, I'd say a one,
a
a zero
1.
or a one. I guess I do have to occasionally, you know, help persuade something. And I think I'm good at it when I need to, but I don't, if you do it
It's
too
not your
much, it's not
go-to
going to work.
strategy.
Correct.
So we'll say 2 then, because rarely used.
Okay.
So the next one is conceptualization. So seeking the appropriate balance between a short-term day-to-day focus and a long-term conceptual orientation.
I'd say four.
4.
Yeah. I mean, I know day to day we have to people have to get stuff done, but I know long term we have to do that to make our budget and to keep growing and increasing our revenues.
Hmm.
So
All right.
actually, I'd give myself a 5 on that.
Five, I like it.
Well, why not?
Why not? The next one we have is foresight. So having the ability to foresee future outcomes associated with a current course of action.
Hmm. Foresight. I'd say 4. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I would say early in my career, I was probably a 0 or a 1.
Mhm.
And then as I gained experience, the number would grow. But given how many years I've done this, if I'm not a 4 or 5, there's a problem. You know, if I can't see and don't understand where things are going and moving, then yeah, that would be a problem. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be still employed. So,
So the next one is stewardship, which is having the ability to foresee future outcomes associated with a current course of action.
say that again. That sounded like the last
It's
one.
it is this last one actually. So it's four again.
Well,
Just
stewardship, isn't that like trying to help? I guess I don't know that. Ask the question again.
give me 1 second, quick.
Okay. Mom's whistling. I'm being recorded, honey.
Yeah, so the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care, such as resources, property, or community.
Yeah.
So what
Um,
would you give yourself for talking like that?
Probably a 3
Three?
because public companies are very conscientious of costs. And in my opinion, many times they don't see the forest through the trees. And so they want you to cut spending on items that are really important for the long-term success and viability of your company.
Yep.
Um, so I'm, you know, I think they want managers to be good stewards of their dollars, but I think you have to spend money to make money. So um, I think I'm doing the right thing, but I don't, to them, I'm probably not a perfect steward. So
And you said you gave yourself a three for that one.
yeah, yep. Because
Okay.
I think if I did what they wanted me to do, I would not have the amount of people or the revenues that we do now.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's why I'm a 3. I'm making a choice to be a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one is your commitment to the growth of people. So committed to the people or commitment to growth of people beyond their immediate work role, which you already touched on a little bit in the beginning of this, where you were talking about like how you've seen some of your employees go from getting out of college to getting a girlfriend to getting married. But if you want to touch on it a little bit more.
Sure. On that professionally though, not personally.
Yeah, well, it's just like commitment to people or growth of people outside of their immediate work role.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So just overall
Um,
growth of a person.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think by hiring good people and treating them fairly, I think they're doing that themselves.
Yeah.
They're growing. I mean, I think if you put people in a good environment, a good work environment, then and again, you hire good people, they themselves will grow
Hmm.
outside of work. I don't think it's because of me.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think you would give yourself on a 1 to 5 then?
oh, I don't know. We'll go 3.
Three.
Sure. Tough to judge.
Yeah. And then the last one is interest in building community. So striving to create a sense of community both within and outside of the work organization.
Okay. I think that's a 5
I was going to say
because,
five. One.
yeah, because again, they're all really kind of individual companies within our company. So it would be really easy to every have there be no real camaraderie or team feeling
Hmm.
because everyone's separate doing their own thing. So that's where I try to work hard to get, like have going to a tailgate a couple of weeks ago and inviting all the employees and their families. That it builds a better feeling of teamwork than if you never did that and they don't come in the office and they're just doing appraisal work. They feel like they work by themselves for themselves.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think our profession, it's difficult to get people working together and communicating with each other again because they're very independent.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we do a good job of doing that. And again, that goes back to them hiring good people that treat others well and they want to participate and get to know each other and help each other if they do have questions. And so,
All right. So that is it for that one.
okay.
Next, we are going to be talking a little bit more about significant changes that you've had. So the first, or could you provide an example of how just one of those characteristics that we just went through was used to get to your greatest achievement of growing your employees from 0 to 25 and the revenue from 0 to 12 million? So there's
Uh,
listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, and then commitment to growth of people and interest in building community.
um, I'd probably say commitment to growth and people.
Hmm.
I mean, I think all those things stack up and are needed
Yeah.
to be successful. But if I had to pick the most important one, it's probably just helping them grow personally, then and or professionally, and then it also is personal. So,
All right. So consider one significant challenge, preferably one with an ethical dilemma, if you've had that, that you've previously faced.
uh, well, I think back when I was at CB, there was a period of time where um, I can't remember when it was probably 2013 or something like that, 2012. And there were four people that all left within a couple days of each other.
Hmm.
And what they did is they had planned to all leave and start up their own company together, which, at the time, I don't know, I probably had 15 people or something like that, or 18 people. So to lose four people, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
And, I further learned that they stole all of the data we had and all of the reports that had been done, which kind of added to the frustration of the whole situation. So that was definitely a huge challenge because upper management looked at me and they're probably wondering why did four people leave, and so that I'm sure didn't look good, didn't reflect well on me.
Hmm.
Um, so that was a definite challenge of which I don't know. Did you ask on the question of how did I
No,
respond
so
to it?
it, well, that's, yeah, so the next one is how did you handle it and what was the outcome?
Gotcha. Yeah. So what I did, and it was more probably out of fear and worry that I was going to keep my job, which probably in hindsight wasn't a concern. But um, what I did is I just went out and I started recruiting people really hard, going to lunches and talking to people. And I hired 3 or 4 more people probably within 6 months. And some of them weren't as strong of billers and producers as some of the ones that left, but over time um, they became strong producers. And it turned out, they were better people. They weren't, the people that left ended up stealing all of our data, and that's obviously not the kind of people you want working for you. So
Yeah.
as difficult and challenging as it was at the time, in hindsight it was probably better. That change was better for us because we got better people.
Yeah. Nice. And then if you could just include some like time period, persons, products, services, competition, market conditions that may have been involved during that time. More so like maybe like what company were they trying to sell the data to or
Well, the biggest market condition, I'm not going the way you were leading me, but
that's
is yeah, I mean, I've seen a number of market corrections which affect our business, but the biggest one while I was at CB was the 2007 and 8 market crash.
hmm
And it was the great, I guess they call it the Great Recession. There was the housing collapse, Lehman Market, Lehman, and Morgan Stanley and all those national companies were, in becoming almost insolvent, and the whole real estate and marketplace was in total chaos. And
And does that have something to do or like have involvement with that significant challenge that you faced?
not with the people leaving, but it was a significant challenge, not just for me, but everybody in my profession, and then people in many professions financially, in the financial industry. That recession was really hard, and probably it probably pushed a lot of people out of jobs and into, different lines of work.
hmm
So what had happened to us is it just nobody was hiring appraisers. Nobody was financing real estate. Nobody was buying and selling real estate. And then eventually properties were going in foreclosure, and it was a real tough time period. So,
And then we're gonna rate you again based off the significant challenge and how you think you handled yourselves through these characteristics from that
okay.
significant challenge. We have 3.5 minutes left on this recording,
Okay.
so I might have to stop you at some point and
That's
we'll
fine.
have another video, but we'll just start right now. So, do you want me to read the definitions along with it, or you can ask me if you want to hear the
Yeah.
definition
Just
again?
ask me the question and then
So
I'll,
the
if I
first
need
one
it.
was listening. And again,
Okay.
1 is never used, 5 is always used.
And this is only as it related to the challenge I had, one
Yeah,
particular challenge.
with your 4 employees
Okay.
stealing your data.
So so is the question, before they left, did I listen to them or after they left or?
Any of it. Before, after, during.
Well,
How
yeah,
did you
that's
see
actually,
yourself listening throughout that
yeah.
whole entire process?
I think beforehand I wasn't probably overly aware or listening to what was going on with them.
hmm
Um, and I think afterwards I became, so I was, if I'm rating myself, I probably was a 2 to
hmm
them. And then afterwards, I think I probably had to become a 4 to turn it around.
Okay, so 4.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the video and we'll get another one started. All right. So just to refresh your memory for the one significant challenge that you've had for the rankings of listening, you gave yourself a 4. And then the next is empathy, which is trying to emphasize with others' feelings and emotions.
As it relates to that challenge,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll go the same on a lot of these, but I think before that challenge occurred, I probably, I mean, there's something that they weren't happy about that made them leave. So, I probably wasn't as empathetic. So I probably was a 2 or 3. And then after, and trying to rectify and improve what we had with new people, I was probably a 4.
Okay, we'll say 4. And then healing, so striving to make themselves and others whole in the face of failure or suffering.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think all of the the result of them leaving, I think everyone on their own, because they were all good people that had stayed
Hmm.
after those people left. I think they all kind of did the healing themselves. I don't think I necessarily did it, but it was sort of a we did it all together, so probably a 4.
Okay. The next is awareness. So awareness of your strengths and limitations.
I would say a 5 on that. Even before they all that challenge occurred, I'm I guess I kind of knew that things weren't, you know, going well with them, and they weren't really doing they weren't really team oriented and being on time with their reports, and things weren't going well. So I think I was aware of that.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
All right. So the next is persuasion.
Uh, back to the prior discussion on persuasion, I don't, I mean, I guess, you know what? I had to go to all the people that remained because I was worried those 4 people that left were going to take the people that stayed or tried,
Yep.
and they did try to take them. So I did have to push hard at that point to try to persuade them to stay. So and they didn't take anyone else in. So I would say it was a 5.
5.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But it was fear that was forcing me to do what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conceptualization. So difference between or appropriate balance between a short-term day-to-day focus and a long-term conceptual orientation.
Yeah, I mean, during that period, I had to change from day to day to longer term because I needed to regrow and rehire people. So I'd say that's probably a 5 as well.
The next one is foresight,
Foresight.
ability to foresee future outcomes associated with the current course of action.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy one to say that I saw it all, but I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say a 2, probably.
Yeah.
I think just plain hard work and putting your head down and getting stuff done is what causes future success more than like trying to be overly strategic and foresight. So,
Yeah. Perfect. And then stewardship.
uh, yeah, I don't know that that really changed as a result of that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd say probably a 4.
A 4. Your
Yeah,
last one was a 3.
right. That was foresight, right?
No, like I'm saying your
Oh,
grade for yourself on stewardship on your like greatest achievement was a 3, but
oh yeah, that's right. Because I think you need to spend money to make money. So yeah, I guess probably should be consistent with that because I didn't really change how I treated everyone after that challenge. So yeah, probably 3. Way to
okay.
call me out on my inconsistency.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, commitment to the growth of people.
That was probably a five. Yeah, because I was pretty in tune that I think I felt like I was already doing that, but I really had to focus on every one of these tasks after that challenge to keep the people I had and then to try to hire new people.
Yeah. And then lastly, interest in building community.
Uh, yeah, I think I worked that after the challenge. It's probably a five. I think I worked extra hard to try to connect people. So maybe selfishly because I didn't want them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then could you provide just one of these characteristics as an example that you used in overcoming that challenge?
Can I provide one of these
Yeah,
that
so out of the characteristics, what is one of them that you used in overcoming the challenge that you faced with those four employees leaving?
uh probably just working on the self growth of everybody.
Mm-hmm. So commitment to
Yeah,
growth
growth
and
or commit.
people. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. Um, okay. So the next section is your organizational mission, geez, and values and the entrepreneurial mindset. So, what was the mission, vision, and strategy of the organization?
Um, of my basically my job within the organization
Well,
or
like
the
the
larger company.
organizational's mission, vision, and strategy, like if you know off the top of your head, you can
Um,
look it up quick too.
no, I mean it's I think it was growth for Newmark for the whole company and for our group.
Mm-hmm.
It's a newer company, so I would say the mission was for was really for growth. The vision was how do we get that growth? You know what strategic plans and procedures do we do to vision and find that growth, and then the strategy of implementing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all relates to basically the growth of our company,
Mm-hmm.
like growth as in revenues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how essential is the entrepreneurial mindset in achieving the mission, vision, and strategy of CBRE while you were there?
How important is the entrepreneurial values?
How important is the entrepreneurial mindset?
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
super.
mean,
Yeah, super. I would say, especially in our profession, super important because our appraisal people, like brokers, they're fully commissioned. So you can't, I mean, you really have to be entrepreneurial and take charge to help yourself become successful. So it's super important quality to have to be successful, probably in any profession, but
mhm,
really strongly in ours because it's all commission. So you're not collecting a salary where you can sit back and, read texts and send texts to friends all day. If you're doing that, you're not getting anything done. You're not billing anything. So you're not making the company money and then you're not making yourself any money. So
mhm.
super important.
Nice. And then for this, we're going to be rating your entrepreneurial mindset. So the characteristics are a little different from the first two tables that we went through, where you rated yourself.
Okay.
So this one, the first one is need to achieve. So that is like a drive to attain excellence, being drawn to environments in which their efforts are directly related to success.
And what's the question?
Just rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 5.
Oh, like how driven I am for success.
Yeah,
Basically, it sounds like I'd say five for sure.
5.
Yep.
Yeah, especially with the commission too.
Yes.
Um, so the next
Yeah,
one,
because it all trickles down. So if my people are successful, then I'm more successful.
yeah,
So
and the next one is openness to experience. So being imaginative, curious, and broad-minded.
yes. I'd say four
4.
because everyone does stuff differently. So I I wasn't gonna just tell people here's how you have to do it because there's lots of ways to skin a cat. Lots of ways to do stuff, and everyone does stuff differently. So definitely had to be open to how other people, as long as the outcome was successful, I was I learned to be very open to how people did stuff. If it wasn't successful, then I would try to correct what wasn't successful about it.
Awesome. The next one is innovative, creative ability. So the ability to introduce new ideas about products, services, or processes and procedures.
Am I rating myself or just explaining it?
You're rating yourself.
Oh, okay.
So how
Uh,
how innovative or creative were you?
um, I'd say three.
3.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we do is very procedural. So, um, once you keep doing something over and over, you just get better at it. So, you like we would, I guess we would work to try to come up with different ways to make our clients happy so they'd keep hiring us. But um, it was pretty simple what made our clients happy. And so we didn't, that's really, there were three things we focused on: quality appraisal reports on time and good client communication. So it, we didn't have to be, frankly, all that creative. We just had to, but it wasn't necessarily easy, but that's what we had to do to be successful.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then the next one is risk propensity. So that is increased ability to take risks in the pursuit of solutions or new opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't feel like I or our company is risky, but every time I hired somebody, I'm taking a risk because I'd like to think I know what it takes to hire the right people, but we never really know until we have them working for us.
Yeah,
If so, we're taking I and everybody's taking a risk every time you hire somebody. I think so. That if I have to rate, um, I'd say a four then.
4. Perfect. The next one is proactivity and work ethic. So having a forward-looking,
Proactivity.
yeah, and
Okay.
work ethic.
I'd say five for sure. I mean, that's ultimately what it being successful. That was, I think, one of the first things I mentioned at one of your questions is at being successful at anything, whether it's relationships or work or friendships, any relationships, it's you have to work hard at it to be successful.
Yeah.
So,
The next one is entrepreneurial self-efficacy. So that is one's confidence in their capability to succeed in entrepreneurial activities.
yeah, I'd say five.
5.
Yep.
Why would you say 5?
Uh, just I'm I mean, I guess when I early in my career, I probably was a one or two. And like I said on another question, as I gained experience, I became more confident in what I did. And at this stage of my career and with the success we've had, I think it's given me a lot of confidence. So that's why I'd say five. Entrepreneurial confidence, I guess.
Yeah. And then the last one is an internal locus of control. So that is the belief that you can control your own destiny and external forces have little influence.
I would say a one or a zero. Because, well, a one, because I mean, I mean, yes, we can, I think we all control to some degree our destiny, but there's lots of market forces that can dictate something going south. Like in 2008 when the market crashed, it doesn't matter how good anybody was, everybody got hammered.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then can you provide an example of how just one of those characteristics was used in achieving the mission, vision, and strategy of the organization?
Yeah, the one we did just a couple ago, it was like confidence and
Let me find entrepreneurial self-efficacy.
yeah, and you explain that as like
It's one.
confidence in
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, and then what was this question? One example of that? Or
Uh, just like it was provide example of just how one of the characteristics was used in achieving those mission, vision, and strategy.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I think confidence is an example is now that I've been able to grow at Newmark so quickly because of my added confidence that I probably didn't have 30 years ago in growing CB. It took longer. So that confidence, probably the people who have come over see that, and I think that's helped.
Yeah. And then we have two last questions about um servant leadership. So the first one is apart from servant leadership and the entrepreneurial mindset, please identify two significant lessons or attributes that are success essential for success.
Uh, I would say two things that are most essential for success is hard work, which I've mentioned a few times, um, and then treating everybody the way that we want to be treated fairly.
Mhm.
Um, and with that is being well communicative with everybody.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then describe anything you wish you would have specifically avoided that may have derailed or delayed your success.
Uh, Probably specifically, probably, um, because I get 200 plus emails a day, so I move very quickly in my decision making and responses to clients. And um, one thing I would probably redo, I would have long time ago put on the 3 minute delay in my emails going out because I've sent 4 or 5 emails that could have gotten me in super deep water that I survived, but you know, uh, just being, I guess that's a very specific
Yeah,
example, but maybe being a little more diligent and taking my time to, respond
yeah,
instead of forwarding an email that to the wrong person that says something you didn't want it to say, you
yeah,
didn't want them to get. So,
yeah. I believe that is all.
okay.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
Uh, I don't think so. No, I think you all those questions touched on most of the items I think that make people successful.
Mhm.
So, and it's not, I mean, I didn't say this, but I don't think in my, and maybe because this is me, but I think you don't, I think it's easy to think you have to be smart to be successful. And I think that's really not important. I mean, you have to be able to have street smarts and like be aware of what people are saying and doing and know what's going on around you. But um, you know, you people successful people are not. I don't think there's any correlation to really bright people being uber successful. I think it's just having kind of common sense and working hard gets can surpass some super brainiac that doesn't apply themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Dad.
Yeah, my pleasure. That was fun.
Yeah. All right.